Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us today. My name's Patrick Delson. Ivan Churilov is here with
Same
me.
guys over
Same
and over.
guys as every other week. We just any advice contained in this presentation is general only, doesn't take into consideration your personal circumstances. You need to decide for yourself whether it's appropriate for you. Past returns are not an accurate indicator of future returns. Options are risky stuff, those sorts of things.
Yep,
right?
yep. Make sure they're suitable for you, I think is what the disclaimer says. But anyway, especially if you don't really know what you're doing. But anyway, that's what we're doing here. So what shall we look at? I mean, obviously, guys, as always, any questions that you have, please shoot them through. For those of you that were there last night, apologies. For the sound quality, we'll make sure that I'm not going to.
I missed one session and
it's all gone. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I understood correctly, Graham was doing it on the plane on the Wi-Fi.
Anyway, so last night there was a session that was meant to be a discussion on volatility.
Market makers.
Market makers.
Stuff. So
we did volatility the week before, didn't we?
I did.
Yeah.
Margins.
So market makers, margins, those sorts of things. So we'll redo that session if you're online and you missed. Or you just heard gibberish. We'll sort that out. Anyway, market came off.
And went a little bit up again.
Yeah, so implied volatility didn't do too much.
No, little bit of a spike and back down.
Yeah.
That's just up to 13.
Yeah.
And down to 11.
Yeah.
Massive. It's almost weird that volatility doesn't do anything these days. When it's when that kind of a move happens, and if you're Mr. Patel, who has made 50,000 into 830 in 3 days.
Where did we go? Because we were talking about this, and it was up at 14, wasn't it, on XGO or something like that?
What
the implied vol?
Oh yeah, 13 and a bit. Yeah, this was usually in a move like that.
We could have been sitting at 25 or 30 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But from starting at 10, you got a bit to go.
I think people are just in Christmas mode. They're just whatever the market's doing, it's going to come back up anyway. Is pretty much the mentality. Which is, I mean, do you remember middle of 2007? I remember in July there was that massive sell-off in July 2007, and everyone was like, I mean, we've been year on year 20% up and up and up and up and up, and then October happened, and first, and it was that the greed fear scale that we keep talking about.
Yeah,
it was really good at the start, and then it just went, oh, got it, what, no, what, and then eventually it just goes to nothing.
And we've been talking about this because we've got, and we'll be working on this for the next week or two. We're doing a volatility dispersion trade. I guess
it is sophisticated only.
It's only for sophisticated investors, which is a shame in some ways. But it's, I don't know. There's just all the vols out. But if we talk to people, when you're talking to people, they just feel like that the more time goes by, the more likely correction is to happen. And I guess you just look at what goes. Eventually, markets correct. History does repeat itself, but the last time
interest rates are going to go up one day.
The length of bull markets has been longer.
Yeah,
as we pull different levers to try and put band-aids on the economy and put off taking the pain, and no one wants to be the guy holding the
go on
whatever you hold when the shit goes down. Anyway, so trades wise. We thought the problem is a sell-off like that would be usually a perfect setup for iron condors.
If the volatility jumps.
Usually.
Yeah. Usually.
But the volatility isn't jumping in these situations.
Yeah.
We're going to have to be patient on lit longs.
Yeah.
You'll need the market to go up a little bit. It could be that we're looking back at this at Christmas.
Yep.
Really. Maybe we get the Santa Claus rally that, which could go into the new year. So it'll be interesting to see that. But that's from our lit long trading. For people that have been trading ranges, then they probably had a pretty good time of it.
Yep. Yep. And we did have an iron condor today that popped up, which was...
well, that's lining up as a gold, isn't it?
I didn't actually see this morning. I've been
Yep.
absolutely
Doing other stuff.
flat out.
All
Yeah,
right.
we are getting to the point where it's almost announceable, but it's going to be big news for us ultimately.
Yeah.
Big news.
Gold alert. Iron condor. ALU.
Ah.
Yeah. So.
Did line up pretty well.
Yeah. Maybe we can bring that
So
up.
yeah, I mean, I'll just do it in the most basic way, which was it's an iron condor. That part I know, and it was 50 days out. So close to, it's close to the market. Just going to check in. Tim has spoken to market makers locked in the price currently at 78 cents credit. So that's pretty good. So maximum profit is 78 cents. Maximum loss is 111 based on these legs. Tim, can you just check that the legs are right? 30 and a half, 32 and a half, 36 and a half, 38 and a half. And just to make sure that we've got the max risk reward right. I mean, I could probably just log into my V account. So question for you actually in terms of, this is more for my own interest. There we go. No, it's slightly different. So 78 cents, that's locked in. 33.90, so that's under the 1 to 2 risk rewards. That's not too bad. So $3,000 on the $2,000 trade.
Yep, it's not bad.
It's not too bad. Just going to go on into edit the idea. So that's what it's looking like, and it's interesting. So the legs are 33 and 37. So 33, I'm just going to chop that into the interactive screen, horizontal. So 37 and 33 is where we're looking. That's pretty good. I like that. I really do. So in terms of the Adira advisors in Sydney, are they ready to start placing trades on behalf of clients, by the way? No, is that something that we're...
It'll be Friday this week.
Oh,
yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
they're down on Friday, just doing the last few bits and pieces. So yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, because that's now just in light of all the crazy stuff that's been going on in my life. That's something that we now need to well, ideally I start utilizing that.
Okay. David has asked a question. In layman's terms, why is ALU iron condor now classified as gold when it had previously been bronze?
Great question. So there's two big reasons. One is the time to expiry is now closer to 45 days. Are you, sorry?
Yep.
Yep. So that's number one. And number two, you know how when you're controlling, okay, anyway. But the bigger thing is IV rank got higher.
Yep.
As far as I understand, the moving averages are more in line. I might as well go in and actually go into this.
Yep.
I don't know.
But there's a point scoring system for those of you that don't know.
Sorry,
it
yes.
depends on the points. That's why I wanted to bring up that image. So 80 points brings it in as a gold. And so the things that will contribute to the points are IV rank.
Go on. I'm going to test your knowledge.
The list was there. That's why I had the list open.
So here is the big reason is it's closer to the two moving averages that are completely compressed. We've seen that as one indicator. The IV rank is high, albeit IV rank is high on a recently listed stock. So this is something to consider. On the 18th of November, did ALU become an actual tradable underlying for options, and it's become a gold because of the proximity to the underlying moving averages and so on and so forth. So there's this sort of a whole heap of stuff. In terms of the moving averages themselves, as they're condensing, what we're actually also looking at is I would anticipate that tomorrow it'll probably go away from a gold trade, probably on the basis of this kind of move down. I'm just going to, what are we down? Strategy builder, this, it's down 2.5%. So it's probably going to go to silver, although volatility looks like it's picking up. So hopefully that answers your question. On some level, so let's see, it's pretty much static. So this IV rank's probably not as important as it could have been. Any other questions from anybody in terms of any trades? Obviously, it's a tricky time in the market as it's almost I think from the time, maybe we're a bad omen. From the time that we really started doing these sessions and took them over, there's been a couple of opportunities presenting themselves, but it's just been really dry markets.
There hasn't been a lot, but there's been some great trades.
There's been some great trades.
You know, I don't know. It's just one of those ones where you got to take the opportunities when they arise, but it's just not.
I was really excited about that long opportunity, and it just
we got super close to a good breakout, or at least a breakout on so many things. It didn't happen, which I guess is good
or bad.
Yeah,
could have been some interesting repairs in there.
Yeah.
But I guess we won't really know until something happens.
But if things consolidate, if things move up, then there will be a lot of stuff trading off the 50-day moving average, which is what we want.
One of the Sydney advisors said that they went a little bit short. So
Did they?
You guys. You guys. Eventually, I guess,
What about our man, Moon?
Oh, the Moon.
Let's bring Moon in.
You got to bring in Moon.
Yeah. So for those of you that are in the options game at the moment,
I just want to say that he made another $100,000 today.
Yeah.
And he's now at $1.2 million.
We need to give this guy a job.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally timing everything almost to perfection.
Yeah.
It's almost like he knows the future.
Beautiful. Well, sometimes you get it on a string like that, right? But
should I just reset the account like it never happened?
Yeah.
I feel jealous, man.
Yeah. All right, guys. Is there any questions? Anything else anyone wants to discuss? That iron condor's there at the moment. Other than that, no lit longs, no lit shorts. So that's it from us, from our trade idea side of things. Is there anything anyone wants to look at, any trades that they've got going? Otherwise, I think we've probably covered everything we need to cover today.
Yep.
And there's nothing really to add that we would be thinking about or worrying about that's happening in the market, other than for us, it's patience from here. Few iron condors if they present themselves, but they're few and far between just because volatility is so low. So that doesn't play into our hands. So it'll be either waiting for some sort of action to occur from these levels.
Have a quick glance at what's happening in the world of IV. Back at Queensland's popping up. That's an interesting one. Just having a look at that. So vol's really picked up on the back of that fall. What do we got? 90 days. Look at that. That's been a stock under pressure back at Queensland. It's way through the lows now. Just thinking why that didn't pop up as a lit short for us, and then I realised it's because of the low underlying. So that was quite interesting. Oh, by the way, for anybody who does wants to see more, or if you're not seeing those, we do have a filter up here in the top. So anything between 15 and 20, or 15 and 200 gets filtered out. So if you are looking for more trading opportunities, there's Bank of Queensland popping up today, but nothing really a whole heap more. I'm going to go back to my 15 because I really don't like those stocks. All right, well, I think that we've not a lot of questions. Not everyone's in Christmas mode. We wish you all the best for the festive season, I guess.
Yeah, right. Is this our last session?
No,
one more next week, and then we'll have a couple of weeks off, I think.
Yeah.
For the trade group.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I'll be around, so if you decide.
Oh, you can do it.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I think if we really do have something important.
Yeah, we'll get back online.
I think,
if we get a Sander rally, we'll be running all the sessions through the break. Otherwise, we'll probably take a week or two off.
Yeah.
Yep. Excellent. All right, guys. If there's any final questions, put them in now. Otherwise, we'll call the session to a halt today. Thank you very much for joining us, and all the best. Cheers.